So thank you for joining in this afternoon. This is the Law, Public Safety and Corrections session that will go from 12 until before 2. We should round up. I'd like to say welcome. On our panel today, we have Honorable Justice Olushola Williams, retired. Then we have Inspector Temitope Kodaolu-Ajayi, and then we have Fire Officer Folashade Onibon. Thank you so much for making it this afternoon. And our students are coming in now. So I'd like to thank you. You're welcome. Could I ask, starting from Honorable Justice, if you could introduce yourself and give us an idea of what you do, ma.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, ma.
You can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, we can, ma.
Okay, thank you very much. It's a privilege to be here, and this is somewhere I'd like very much to be, because I believe that our youth is not tomorrow, they are today. They are the today, because it's our today that determines our tomorrow. So this is really where one should be, working on, Nigeria today for a better tomorrow. So my name is Honorable Justice Olushola Ajayi Williams, and I'm retired now. I served as a judge in the Lagos State Bench, that's Lagos High Court, for 18 years. I started in 2001, and I retired in 2019 July after 18 years. But as you probably know, every judge was a lawyer to start with. So yes, I started out being a lawyer, and I worked in private practice. I have a varied experience. I also taught at the Nigerian Law School for about 5 years. Went back to private practice before I then went to the High Court to be a judge. And now that I've left the High Court, just to tell you what a variety of roles you can play as a lawyer, I have now set up an institute to teach paralegals, that is people that work with lawyers, because I found out that there's a problem in that area, that people that work with lawyers and judges are not properly trained. So I have this institute that I founded, and I teach paralegals. And then also I am a TV judge, because I have a TV show, Judging Matters. Yes, it's called Judging Matters. They are real life cases, but they are small claims. Because a lot of times, when you want to claim 100,000 naira, how much are you going to pay a lawyer? To claim that? So the fact that these sort of claims are not being addressed properly. So I have this TV show, The Courtroom, just like the American Judge Judy thing.
Judge Judy, yes.
So it's called Judging Matter. But ours is small claims for about 100,000 at most, maybe 150. So I'm also a judge in that.
Okay.
Those are the things I do now.
Wow. So sorry, what channel does Judging Matters go on?
DSTV channel 15. Africa Magic Shows, and it's on Mondays at 6 p.m.
I only have GoTV.
Yeah, that's we try to tell them to bring it down, but I think they are milking it now. Maybe after a couple of seasons, then we are now season 2. We did season 1, we're in season 2 now. So maybe after like 4 or 5 seasons,
then we'll come to GoTV. Okay.
But there's some of it on YouTube. You see quite a bit on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go on YouTube. So, can I go to Inspector Kodaolu? Please introduce yourself and tell us how you got to where you are today. Inspector. Hello, Inspector. No, we can't hear at all.
Hello?
Yes, okay.
Okay. Good at all? Not even now.
It's very, very low,
Okay.
but go ahead. Ah,
Okay. So Temitope, Kodaolu.
okay.
I have been in the police now for 17 years.
Wow.
And I can say, and at the same time, it has been tedious, challenging. I can play.
Okay, we can't hear you very well. Hello?
Okay, am I clear now?
A
Yeah?
bit, yes, a bit. You can speak now.
Just I go on now.
Uh-huh. Okay. You can go on now, ma.
Do I go on?
Yes, yes, please.
Okay. So sometime May 2003, I decided that I was going to join the police. And then I went ahead and I did the procedure and I went into the police college. I came out and I was, like that. I got my uniform. But it wasn't that easy. It wasn't that easy. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, the first thing I think was that I had to get my certificate to it. And having seen that I qualified, I went ahead and bought the form. I was made to go through a little exam, a little sort of. So after that, I had to go back and check to make sure that I was on the list. And then I proceeded to Police College Ipaja, where I underwent training for 6 months. And then I was posted. During the training, in the course of the training, I was made to understand that there are duties which I have to perform.
Mm.
Hello?
Yes, continue. Go on, ma. Go on, ma.
So in my 17 years, I've worked in several divisions. Hello? Okay. In my
Yes.
17 years, I've worked in several divisions and I've worked outside Lagos State. Presently, I'm in Lagos, but I've worked outside Lagos State and I've such as maintenance of public law and order, prevention of crime. I've done prosecution of cases. As a policeman, you have to go to court. Sometimes
Yes.
you have to do it. So I've been to court. Presently,
Okay.
I am working as a clerk in the office, the administrative arm of the division where I serve.
Okay. Okay. So it's really interesting because I'll be honest. So when I go out to do talks with youngsters, there's a particular program I do, and then career development programs. So when I tell students to write their careers of choice, so the top ones are usually law, medicine, accounting, and engineering. And I've been doing this for since 2013 and up till now. I can only say it's once that I've seen one student say they want to be a police officer. We don't have many. So it's like, so I've got two people on this panel now. A lot of children talk about law. I've never heard any child say anything about being a police officer. And that's why I said I have to bring on a police officer on this panel. Also on the panel, I have Fire Officer Folashade Onibon. Please, Ma, could you introduce yourself and tell us how your journey into your current profession? Hello, Ma. Hello, Ma. Okay, she's coming on. So Fire Officer Onibon, where you have the ground now. Hello, Ma. Fire Officer, are you still on? But we can't hear anything or see anything at your end. Hello? Okay, well, I'll go ahead, and then when she's able to come on, then we'll hear from her. So one of the programs I usually do with JSS 3 students is called My Community and I. And the essence of that program is where I define a career as an expression of myself in service to my community. And so we start to look at all the things, even where they are right now, and all the things they do right now, and how important it is as they serve their community. So I'd like to go, my next question now is, why is what you do important? So your profession now, why is it important to the community? And would you advise young people to take up a career in this line? So I'd like Honorable Justice to answer the question first.
I don't know. I think that question has a very obvious answer. Then you say that lawyers are very arrogant. Say that. Because I always see these car stickers, waiting lawyers they do safe. I don't know if you see.
Oh, I've not seen that one.
There's a sticker, waiting lawyers they do safe. But I think that law is the backbone of any society. Because if you don't have law, the alternative is anarchy.
Yes.
A state of lawlessness. And when might will be right, it means that people who are stronger will always just take what they want and do anybody anyhow. So in order to have peace and order, you must have laws. Now, of course, the policeman enforces the law, but there must be a law that is enforced. If no law has been made and the law has not been interpreted, then what will be enforced? So yes, maybe the House of Assembly, they make laws and things like that when they do, but how are laws explained? How are they interpreted? What are the laws saying? What is required of you as a citizen? How should you treat other people? That is the job of lawyers. We help to interpret the law, we help to ensure that the laws are enforced, and take up cases of people who are wronged by other people, or even people who are accused of doing something wrong. They may not have done it. So for there to be law and order in a society, you need lawyers.
Yes, thank you very much. There was a time when I lived in Germany, and I had a friend of mine who he was working for the police, and driving his police car, he got a ticket once for parking wrongly, and one's for driving too fast. And so that's a place where law and order is, as in nobody is above the law in that society. So it's really important. I understand very much how important the law is. I'm going to ask Inspector Kodaolu now, why is what you do important, and would you advise young people to aspire to law? I mean to become police officers. Hello, Inspector.
The other time you mentioned that people who would want to be, who would want to try to be a lawyer also. My father had it that I was going to be a doctor, but I made up my mind I was going to be a lawyer, and I did everything possible, thinking I was going to be a lawyer.
Wow.
Here am I ended up being a policeman. Now, what do I do? In this society, everybody knows that if there is no police, just like the Madam Justice just said, that there will be a state of anarchy.
Yes.
We maintain law and order. Sometimes you see how it is tedious, but it can be very interesting. Meeting people, doing these things, investigating cases, and protecting lives, traffic rules, traffic control,
Yes.
all these things. Then we go into peacekeeping and peace. I don't want to delve into that now because I believe if I have to, we will talk about that and we will not finish it. But then, make sure that basically protect life and property. While everybody is sleeping, a policeman is awake, doing his job. While everybody is busy enjoying themselves, a policeman is there. And the society at large is peaceful and that the area can. While everybody is going to church on Sunday, a policeman is already on the way, controlling traffic, making sure that people that are passing will have free flow of traffic so that they can get to wherever they have to get to easily. Yeah. This job description can be demanding, but at the same time, they are very, very interesting. And then when you see what you have done and you see you are happy with what you do, you know that you can say it is rewarding also. It doesn't have to be monetary reward. When you look at your job and you feel that you have been able to help humanity, that you feel, well, today I have achieved something. And yes, I will encourage anyone to be in the police job. Today, we know that we have a lot of stories that have been told about police, but I don't want anybody to see that as a criteria to say, I don't want to be in the job. Because every job, just like I would say, every job has its own ills. And the Nigerian police or the police at large is not an exception. But one thing I always tell people is this: you can be the exception. Yeah. If you are saying everybody is bad, all the eggs are rotten, you can decide to be that only person who can be an agent of change. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. One of the reasons why I brought you up, I remember there was a talk that our former governor Fashola had, and he was talking to a crowd of like high net worth people, and he said, most of you would not want your children to be police officers. Meanwhile, we need your children to become police officers, and we need. So one of the reasons why I brought you here is so that our young people understand the um, the importance of the role, and then we can have young people who are actually interested in doing it, and not people who fall back on it because, okay, I didn't have anything else I could do, so let me do this, you know. I think in a lot of professions, so we started yesterday, and it's one of the issues that some people, some professions are having, that they have the wrong people in there because they just fell on it, or it fell in their laps. It wasn't really what they wanted to do. So my hope really is that we'll have young people who would actually be interested in the police and would go into the police force, and maybe even parents who would support them, because uh, to be honest, a lot of parents wouldn't, they don't support their children to go into the police force. And we're going to try again. If I'm, let me see if sorry, if our fire officer, I think she's still on. Oh, the background noise is a lot. So, Inspector, I might mute you for now until the next question. So while Ms. Folashade speaks. So, Mrs. Folashade, are you there?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank you. Oh, the net.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yes, perfect. Yes, now we can hear you. So, yes.
Yeah.
So the first question was, please introduce yourself and how you came into your profession.
So as I was saying earlier before, can you hear? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We
Okay.
can hear you now. Uh-oh. Hello? Oh, the network is really poor. Okay, she's back.
Hello?
Yes, yes. We can hear you now loud and clear. Uh, sorry, we can't hear you anymore. Oh. Is it possible the equipment where you are is interfering with your network? So, uh, oh, this is so
Oh,
okay, so
hello?
yes, okay, please speak.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now. Speak.
I don't think so. I'm using my personal internet, so I don't know what the issue is. Can you hear me now?
Yes, 1 minute it's okay. The next minute it starts fluctuating again. That's what's going on.
Hello?
Yes, speak, please.
Hello?
Speak, speak. Okay, so we'll just have to go on now. So Ma,
Hello?
it's not working. So I'll go back to the justice. Ma, so we have both junior students here, as in students in junior secondary school and students in senior secondary school.
Hello, can you hear me now? Oh, okay. So my name is I'm actually kind of new to the service. Yes, the network is not switching. To be new to the service. I've been in the service past 5. I never knew I would do that. I can hear you.
Okay. You said you're in the service 5 years.
Hello.
Yes. So go ahead.
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I
we
said
can.
I've been in the service like 5 years now.
Okay.
And during the service, for me, it was not, I didn't know I was going to be a fine. And so then when I got the job, the training, it was not easy, truly. But, you know, when I started the job, I realized that it's an actually rewarding job because it's and property situations. And for that, I feel that it's a very, very rewarding job. And to go ahead has been a very, very good and interesting job for me. And I'm here now. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, students, I hope you got a bit of what she said, that it's a very rewarding job. Most children don't really know about joining the fire service at all. I know in other
Of
climes,
course.
little children very little children, they grow up saying, I want to be a fireman, I want to be a fireman. But because here we don't really see it so much, so we don't know
Yes.
that we don't really know that you exist, so
You're right. You're right. I was
uh-oh.
so before I joined the service, like, what do they really do there? But truthfully, it's a very, very serious job. And it's
Okay, so sorry, the network is really bad, so we'll
rewarding
continue.
and really
Okay, so I was saying we have both junior students. We have some in junior secondary school, just 1 to 3, and we have some in senior secondary school already. So for the
So I don't
benefit
think
of
I
our
would want to
juniors,
be another thing than being a firefighter.
thank you, ma. So for the benefit of the junior students, I'd like you to tell us, like, what kind of subjects would be very important while they're in JSS. In JSS classes, they have to do a variety of subjects, like the full package. And then by the time they're going to senior secondary school, they now need to start narrowing down their their subject areas. Yesterday we had education and training on, and the teacher told us about the fact that now that in some schools they don't make it so rigid, but most of the schools right now it's still that way, that it's either you're going into science, the arts, the the commercial class. So I'd like, for the benefit of the juniors who will be going into senior secondary school at some point, what kind of subjects are very important for them to do to become lawyers? That's first to Justice.
Okay, thank you. I think uh, we really need to change a bit in our educational system, because I think what is important is to be a well-rounded person. And it used to be that you had to have like all the art subjects. But I remember that the university I went to, my alma mater, that I'm very proud of because it's the university and then there are the others. So it's the
Which university was
University of
that
Ife.
one? Okay.
Otherwise known as Obafemi Awolowo. Okay. So
Okay.
it was a sound university because it was the one university at the time that we were going in that didn't mind if you did sciences, you could still get into law. Because one of the things that attracted me to the legal profession, my father was a judge. He was a lawyer himself and he became a judge. And he used to talk to us and say that when you're a lawyer, you are everything, that you're a master of every profession. Because when a lawyer has to defend an accountant, he has to understand the accounting profession better than the accountant he is defending, so that he can defend that case better than the accountant would have done himself. If he's defending a lawyer, he has to know everything about the legal profession and then be able to defend. So if he's also defending a doctor, he has to know everything about the medical profession to be able to defend that person effectively. So a lawyer is actually a jack of all trades, you know. So it's very funny that we would have a system in which we say you first of all have to do art subjects before you become a lawyer. If even abroad now in America, people go into university and they say they are undecided. So in your first year of university, you do all sorts of courses. I'm sure you know that about America. And then after 1 year, you decide what you want to do. We have to get to that point where you have a little bit of everything and then it helps you to make up your mind. But as of what I know, and I was trying to look at the curriculum, I couldn't really figure it out from there. I think what the art subjects that you need to do would be literature. And what literature does is it teaches you to study so that you got a culture of reading, because you cannot be a lawyer without reading. You must be ready to study and keep learning. Like I said, so if you're a lawyer and today you are defending an accountant, you're going to study everything about accountancy. And then next week you are defending a doctor. So you put your accountancy books away and then go. So literature, the volume, the learning to read, learning to study, that's what you get from literature. So definitely you must have literature because that culture. Then history was also one of the subjects, the art subjects, because you also need history to be able to learn from people's mistakes, you know, all that. But history also teaches you, gives you a very wide horizon. You know about things, you know how they happened and how to, you know, get solutions and things like that. So I know that history and literature were the great art subjects that you had to do to study law. But arts generally, I think economics and all that, just arts and mixed sciences. Obviously, sorry, I left out English, but that's a compulsory subject anyway. So your English must be top notch. It must, because English is the language of communication, and that's for every profession in Nigeria at this point anyway. So yes, I think literature and history are definite. Then any of the other art subjects like Bible study or Christian religious studies and any other thing, but those two definitely.
Very okay. The other thing, because they make maths compulsory for everyone. So how is mathematics important to law?
Well, in the first place, if you are billing people, you want to know how to calculate.
Yes.
If you ask people to pay, you need to know how to calculate. But jokes apart, you need to function. In fact, I was going to mention economics as one of the subjects. I know it's not compulsory and you don't really have to do it, but maths is a compulsory subject because everything in life has to do with calculation, has to do with how to place numbers. So if you cannot, on a very elementary basis, calculate things, then you can't function in any society. So it's not even just about that profession, but you will always need calculation in things. Now, we have like billing. You need to be able to also file good tax returns, and you must be able to, you are going to be keeping people's money in trust as a lawyer. So you must be able to at least have an elementary idea of maths so that you can function in that aspect, you know. So it's a compulsory subject anyway, so, and you need it for life generally.
Yes. So the reason why I'm asking these questions, because it has always been my thinking that exam malpractice that we see today is because the children are not seeing the relevance of the subjects that they're learning, and so they're learning to pass. as opposed to learning to gain knowledge. So as students on board, I hope you're listening. You need your maths, your English, history, economics, literature in English, and yes, those are the main subjects. But it's good,
Yeah,
as Justice has said, you need to actually be an all-rounder
yeah.
because you
I
need to
mentioned
be
something.
grounded.
Sorry,
Yes, ma'am.
sorry to interrupt you. I remember I saw civics and I was surprised because I thought that they had stopped learning civics in school. We used to learn government and
Mm,
civics. So I don't know if those are still available. When I saw civics, I was happy because I'm actually advocating strongly that civics should be taught. We need to know what our civic duties, not even just rights, are. We need to know, So I saw civics, and I don't know
yeah,
if it's a subject for,
it's
senior.
compulsory.
It's
Yes,
compulsory for senior secondary as well.
yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
Yes. So
So in
civics
senior
and
secondary school, you have to have maths, English, civic education, and then a trade subject. So civic education is totally compulsory for every student. So, Inspector Kodaolu, so we're still talking about juniors now. So if you're a junior, if you're in junior secondary school and you're going into senior secondary school, what kind of subjects should they be thinking about? Okay. Inspector, you're on. Okay.
In the Nigerian police, we basically do not have requirements. All we have, as long as we have 3 other at credit level, then you are good to go. It now depends on you to look at the police you wish to join. Like we have the doctors among us, we have nurses, we have the carpenters, we have mechanics, we have which aspects, and we have the ones we call the general duty. Those are the conventional police you see around. But basically, you need English, you need mathematics, and then you can on credit at the credit level be a professional. I finished with because I think we have about 4 level entrance into the Nigerian police. So it depends on the entrance level you want to go into. That will determine the qualification that you need to have.
Okay. 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 So yes. So we'll try again with our fire officer and see how the network will permit us. Fire officer.
Hello, I'm with you.
Okay, good. Yes. So we're saying, so for the benefit of juniors going into senior secondary school, what subjects are important?
Well, actually, in fire service, we have different aspects to it. The most important thing is that you need to be grounded. You have to be an all-rounder. Do you understand? So, like, we have the
Oh.
We have different departments. We have the accounting, the administrative. You have to like have the knowledge of how to operate the equipment we use in fighting the fire. Then what kind of means, method do you use to fight a particular
Okay.
fire? What particular fire are you fighting? Do you understand? So be science inclined to like anyone that is well educated.
Okay,
So
so I
that is
got
that.
part of that. So for the science, if science inclined at some point to an
Yes,
extent, but then you have to be well-rounded in
yes,
other
yes,
subjects as
yes.
well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we have other units there. So
Yes. Yes. So so now we're going because now we're going into the senior secondary aspect. In post-secondary, so when you're leaving secondary school, there are different opportunities you have. Like, if the students actually did the workshop, I prepared for them. They have four different routes. They can either go vocational, or they can go to tertiary institution, or they can do professional courses or technical courses. So so if you're going into the fire service, let's just put it this way. If you're going into the fire service, what after secondary school, what kind of training can you do to get into the fire service?
well, as a fire officer, our training is majorly at the place of work. Do you understand? Like we have
Okay.
our own training too. But for you
Mm.
to be like a better fire officer, it's important for you to have your safety training, because basically fire service is basically about safety.
Mm.
You understand? So
Yeah.
your safety training, your HSC is very important. And also the
Okay.
vocational training you can
Sorry,
go
please
for
say what is HSC?
health and safety. Health and safety. Can you hear me?
Okay, health and safety. Okay.
Yes. Your health and safety training, because it's an aspect of fire fighting. So
Okay.
also vocational training you can go for. There are a lot of things. I told you earlier that we have different units.
Yes.
Yeah, we have the mechanical unit, we have the maintenance units here,
Yes.
we have the workshops, all those
Yes.
things. So all those trainings that in line to the mechanical training, then the workshop maintenance and her electrical trainings. I think there are some vocational training that involves electrical, the wirings and all. So since we have that unit of very important, it's very important for you to be a fire officer. And also, I told you that we do our training because as a fire officer, we have some other special training that you need to undergo.
Okay, so hold on. So if, for example, a student has done a
Firefighting
vocational
skills.
training.
So when you are being chosen as a fire officer,
Sorry, ma. So
undergo that training at the place of work.
okay, so please hold on. So the question is, so if, for example, a student goes from senior secondary school and then does like a technical training or a vocational training, let's say a mechanic, like in auto mechanics, and
Yeah.
then they say they want to join the fire service. So it's okay for them to have done a vocational training before coming to join the fire service, or do they also
Of
get
course, it's
training
an
in
added
auto
advantage
mechanics?
after you having it's an added advantage for you.
Okay.
Yes, with your SSC, that's like the least certificates that they use in employing us. Yeah, the least certificate is SSC.
Okay. So if you have
Any
any
vocational
further
experiences, it's an added
added
advantage for you.
advantage. Okay, okay. So
Yes,
if they
yeah.
wanted
You
to, so
need
if they want to do, so how do they then apply? Is there a like an application period, or how does it
Of
work?
course, there's usually an application. This is I work with the Lagos State
Okay.
So there's usually an application period, so that they put it out that when you see that you can apply, it mostly start online. So then
Okay, we're not getting that.
go through the screening and all. Then
Okay, we're not getting.
hello, can you hear me?
So when is the period of application and screening?
Well, I can't really say.
Okay.
I can't really say when. It's not like a fixed time.
Okay.
It's not a fixed
Okay.
time.
Okay. So if a student just decides I'd like to join the fire service, then they can come to the fire or go on the website and check on the process and procedures, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Lagos, you can go through the Lagos State website. So there you see the need fire officers. So then you can register through that website. Then
Okay.
take it where you're going.
Okay. Okay. So students, I hope you're listening. So you can go on the Lagos State website and then you check for you should be able to check for where they need the fire service arm of Lagos State website. So now we're going to Inspector Kodaolu. So if one was going to join the Nigerian police, as you said, they're different. I mean, they're nurses, they're doctors, they're accountants, all in the police service. So, and then you said that it now depends on what cadre, what level that you're coming in. So, can you explain to us the different cadres and how to get the process of getting into those cadres? We can't hear. You're on mute. You're on mute. You're on mute, ma. Unmute yourself, please, ma. Inspector, you're on mute.
Okay, I was saying that we have the recruit level. Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes. So there's a lot of background noise. Yes. Okay. Go ahead, ma.
I was saying that we have the recruit level. We have the cadet inspector level.
So recruit level, I didn't get the second one.
Cadet inspector.
Graded inspector, okay.
Cadet.
Cadet. Okay, cadet.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So we have the cadet ASP level.
ASP. Okay.
And we have the level where you go to police academy.
Okay.
Okay, let me explain each level. Now the level is the level where I finished from secondary school. I have my 5 credits, and then there is this publication. You know, it's a yearly thing. The federal government makes a publication in the newspaper for recruitment, and then in the publication there is a place where the sites will be mentioned where you can log into and apply. So on that level, when I'm entering into the police, I'm entering at the recruit level, and then what I will get, the rank I get when I finish my training is the constable rank.
Constable.
I come in as a recruit, my first rank will be the constable rank. But when I go in as a cadet inspector, I might go in through this same SSCE, 5 credits. You have 5 passes in your exam, in your SSCE, 5 passes.
Okay.
That's what it used to be anyway when I joined, but I don't know the criteria for 5 credits too. So for a recruit is in 5 credits, for a cadet inspector it's 5 credits also, but you may have your NCE, you can still apply. You have your OND, you also apply. So that is for the cadet inspector level. Then for
Okay.
the ASC level, is when you are through with the university and you have a BSc, then you can apply with your degree
Okay.
for the ASC level.
Okay.
And then this last level is when you are through with secondary school and then you decided that instead of going through the other university, you want to go into the police academy.
Okay.
The police academy presently has been approved to run like a university, where on completion you get a BSc.
Okay. Okay. Since she has been logged out. Okay, she's back. So now
Okay,
I can rerun.
can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. So let me run through what you said. So you can come in as a recruit with your 5 credits, and when you've done that training, your rank will be a constable. Or if you're coming in as cadet inspector, you'd have your 5 credits, NCE or OND.
OND.
Yes.
You
And
come in as
then
an inspector.
you come in as an inspector.
And in that way, you left behind like 3. You've been able to leave behind like 3 ranks that may take you several years to get to.
Okay. And then
at the inspector level, you have left behind the constable, the corporal, and the sergeant. So you are now you are entering as an inspector. You have left behind some ranks that may take 2 years to achieve. Then as the cadet ASC,
oh.
Inspector rank also.
Okay, we have one of our students say, she said, pardon me, but the background noise is a lot. Yeah, so we didn't get that part.
Okay, I was saying that when you get in through the cadet inspector level, that you are actually leaving behind 3 ranks.
Okay, so if you're coming in the cadet inspector level, you are leaving behind 3 ranks.
To go through several years to get to. Yes.
Okay.
You are leaving behind the constable.
Okay. Okay, then for ASP.
When you come into the ASP cadet level, you are able the corporal, the sergeant, and the inspector rank.
Okay. So with the ASP, then so if you're coming in for ASP, maybe you've already got your BSc, and then you apply to join the police force, and then the final level is going straight from secondary school to the police academy.
Exactly.
And I think that's the one that you do JAM for. So it's going to university basically, but becoming a police officer as well as becoming maybe an accountant.
That's the one you do JAM for.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to Honorable Justice. And
the BSc holder is degree holder. And they run courses like law, sociology, computer science, philosophy. So you have a wide range of courses to choose from.
So if you're going to the police academy, you're going to university. You get a degree in whatever you choose to study. As you said, accounting, psychology, nursing, medicine, whatever you're going to study. And then, but you then come out as a doctor in the police force, or an accountant in the police.
For now, we don't have nursing.
You don't have medicine for now. Okay. Thank you so much, ma.
Now we don't have accounting, we don't have
Okay, I think they would have to check the website, the police academy website, to find out the courses available.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So now we'll come back to the Honorable Justice, and yes, to give us the lowdown on how we can become lawyers.
Okay. Actually, I want to talk about more than just being lawyers. You have to understand that the legal services industry has a lot of stakeholders and role players, and a lot of times we don't understand, and we think it's all about being a lawyer. For instance, now I explained that I was a judge, and that being a judge meant that you all had to have been a lawyer first.
Yes.
Okay. And I also said that now that I've left the bench, because the judges sit on the bench, it's called the bench, and lawyers practice at the bar, so it's called.
Okay.
These are they are professional terms that you need to understand. So lawyers are called barristers, and the group, where they say that lawyers practice at the bar. That's what practicing is called. And because judges sit, they say they sit on the bench. But I want you to understand that the legal profession is more than just lawyers. Okay, so I've talked about lawyers and I've talked about judges, because I said that lawyers are the ones that bring the cases. Then judges judge them, they interpret the law.
Yeah.
Now, I said judges sit on the bench. We have what is called the lower bench and the higher bench. The lower bench, they are magistrates. So they also decide cases, but they are not judges. Judges are the ones you see with white wigs and all that, but magistrates just wear a robe. It's just a lower level of courts. And when we say lower level, we deal with different things. In Nigeria, for instance, a magistrate cannot deal with a matter that is over 10 million naira. Our magistrate cannot deal with a criminal matter that the punishment is death. Okay, so there are just different levels. And so when you're talking of the judicial system, the people that determine the cases, you have the magistrate court, you have the high court, you have the court of appeal, you have the Supreme Court. Now, before you can become a judge, you first of all would have become a lawyer, because that is the qualification. It's a lawyer that has practiced for 10 years that is qualified to be made a judge, or it's a lawyer that has practiced for 7 years that is qualified to be made a magistrate. And when you are saying what sort of system, obviously that is tertiary. You have to go to the university to study law. So when you have your school certs, you've done those art courses, and then you go and do JAM, and then if you're admitted because you have the required number of credits, then you go into the university to study law. But I am trying to let us see that those are not, because we invest a lot of things in lawyers and judges, but even in that legal service industry, there's a lot more than that. And that is why I set up this institute. It's called the Institute of Paralegal Services. So we have people that are called paralegals. They are not lawyers, but they have legal expertise because they work with lawyers, they serve lawyers, they are assistants to lawyers or judges. If I don't know if you've brought people from the medical profession here, for instance. So when you have medical technicians,
yes,
who work with doctors. Nurses also work with doctors. They are all in the medical field, but they are not doctors. So when you say para, it means something that is close to or works alongside. So paralegals are legal executives who work with lawyers. Now, if you want to be a paralegal, you don't need to go to the university. And that's what this institute is about, that Nigeria, we need to begin to see that every profession is not just law, engineering, accountancy that are professions. Everybody must see their work in the light of what it contributes to the society. We must have what is called dignity of labor. And so these legal executives, they need just a foundation in law. And you can go on the vocational, because we are trying to get accredited by the National Board of Technical Education. We're also working with the University of Lagos to have the accreditation so that you can, and it's all over the world abroad, you have paralegals and they study. While it takes you like 4 years to study law, not everybody can afford to go to university for 4 years. You have a family, you want to feed you, things like that. So it's a step down route. So you can study for 2 years, that's abroad. But in our own, it's like a 9-month course. So you study and you become a paralegal. You can practice as a paralegal and grow in that and become a partner in the firm or anything. Or you can decide that okay, I'm just going to be a paralegal for about 5 years so that I can have income. And then after that, I want to go and study law. So you have this diploma in paralegal services as a basis and then have 3 years to study law. So, there are a lot of other professions that we need to look at. It's not just even in the legal services. And paralegals are people that work with lawyers. You might be working as an office manager. You might be working as a law clerk, a litigation clerk, a process server. There's so many things, that we need to understand. Yes, so those are the two routes. If you are doing paralegal, then you can do the vocational one. But if you want to study law, then you can go to a tertiary institution. That's
okay. So if somebody did the paralegal course now, then and you said it's a diploma. So if they then wanted to like work and then go to university, so maybe fund themselves through university with their qualification as a paralegal. So then at what level can they
because
get
you have to
into?
go into university. The only thing it's like any other person that has a diploma, a national diploma. So you actually start from into year 2 years.
Okay.
So that's why we want to get Unilag on board so that get that exemption. Otherwise, you'd have to start from prelim all over. Yes, so we want to get that with Unilag so that you can actually then just go into year 2.
Year 2, okay.
Because there's actually people who have law diplomas anyway, and that's what happens with them.
Okay. So, a student here is saying, what types of law can one study?
That's the issue. You need to understand, like every other profession, there are what we call the foundation and the basics. So when you're studying law, you need to know everything about law, know everything before you get your first degree. It is after getting your first degree that you can say, I'm going to specialize in one thing or the other. While you are getting your first degree, there will be, just like now that you're in secondary school, there will be core courses that are compulsory. Then there will be electives that you can just out of interest do. But as a lawyer, to start with, you must know everything. You must have just that basic foundation. Then when you want to do your master's, you can say, okay, I want to specialize in criminal law. Criminal law has to do with, people that commit crimes that the state wants to punish for. Or you can say commercial law. Okay, I want to work with companies, corporations. I don't want to practice in court. I don't like all the idea of putting on this week's and going to court. So I want to do, these are people that do agreements, dealing with mergers, banks, and things like that. Or you might just love being a barrister. And that means that you go to court. So even if you're a barrister, you have to, like I was saying, you'll be a master of all, unless you decide, okay, I'm going to be a barrister and I still want to specialize in criminal law. So when I'm going to court, I'm only going to be doing criminal cases in court. And you see, even after your master's or even if you get a PhD, it is what you do in practice that actually then gives you the expertise that you need. So you can learn it all, but when you start practicing, you might even decide that, oh, I find this other field more interesting for me. So there's family law, for instance, people that deal with divorce or deal with succession, wills, things like that. There are different kinds of law. It's as a study that you decide, yes, which area you want to specialize in. So I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, yes. So I was going to ask because in my little experience, and this is how I even got to doing what I'm doing now. I used to work in England in the College of Law, and there they used to separate the solicitor from the barrister, which I found that they don't do here in Nigeria. So you have the solicitor. The solicitor doesn't go to court unless they have I forgot the term now. They should have like speaking rights or something like that in court. But generally, if
Right of audience.
yes, right of audience. Thank you, ma. So, but generally, if they don't have right of audience, they have to they
You
have
give
to
the matter over to a
to a
barrister.
barrister. So they it's like they have to employ a barrister to then handle a case if they're going into court. So why is that different? Why how
Uh,
come
It's
as in
just a
since
question of
we came
history.
from them? Yeah.
It's a
Okay, ma.
question of history. And even when I teach in this institute, I always say so. Because in Nigeria, when you finish at the law school, for you to be entitled to practice in Nigeria, you have to go and register in the Supreme Court. And you register as a solicitor and advocate. So we have merged the two in Nigeria. So that gives you the right to either work as a solicitor or to work as a magistrate. You register
Okay.
as both because we've married the roles. We don't make the
Okay.
separation in Nigeria. But in
Okay.
England, and I think that is old, I don't, even in other countries, other Commonwealth countries, even if you don't do it, it becomes something that you specialize in. It is not that you are not allowed to in other countries. But in England, if you're a barrister, you cannot be a solicitor. If you're a solicitor, then you must have speaking rights for you to be able to, appear in court. So they decided to divide. And I think it's a good thing because it makes you more of an expert in whichever field you are. So that's the way they operate actually, but that's only in England.
Okay. Okay, so now I'm going to go next. We're going to talk about the kind of soft skills that we need in these different professions. You know, apart from the general learning your subjects that you need to learn and things like that, there's some soft skills that we need in every profession. So what are the soft skills that students need to develop? And if possible, like what kind of co-curricular could they do to develop those kind of soft skills? So I'll start with you. Yes, ma. I'll
Okay,
start with
thank you
you
very
and
much.
then go around.
Okay, because that's what we do at the institute here. And so here, even if you've gone to university, there are some soft skills that we discover that people don't have, and then we teach here. One thing that is necessary for everybody to succeed, not even just in the legal profession, is time management. People don't really learn about time management, and time management it's a skill you have to learn for you to be effective in whatever you do. So that kind of soft skill is very, very important for you to learn. Okay, then you learn one of the things, etiquette. I find it missing with us. You really in the legal profession, you are going to be meeting a lot of people, different people from different backgrounds, and you need to learn how to relate to people. You need to learn. I call it. There's a course here we do relationship management. You need to manage your relationship with other people. You need to learn social skills of relating to people. And of course, there's also you learn how to be an advocate, but that doesn't teach you public speaking, really. So what you're learning is a lot of theory, but for you to have the confidence to speak, things. So those are the sort of social skills that I would say you need to learn how to manage people. You need self-development. It's those sort of skills, and then you need time management. Of course, there's grammar that we'll learn, but you need to learn public speaking, legal writing. This sort of soft skills that are available. But I would say that the most important for me is time management, and then social management. There's something we also call emotional intelligence.
Emotional intelligence.
That is
Okay.
very, very important because you are relating to a lot of people. You're relating to, for instance, someone who has been accused of a crime, but wants to lie because they just believe that they can never be. They are not guilty, but everything they tell you is a lie because they are scared. So you really need emotional intelligence to be able to put that person's mind at rest. And no, just tell the truth. It doesn't mean you are going to jail, and all that. So you need to learn interviewing skills, for instance, to be able to get information from people, So those sort of skills which you wouldn't really learn anywhere except, you're trained or you train yourself.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm from what you've said, I would think that in secondary school, some of the co-curricular activities that they could take part in is like debates,
Yes, literary and debate
literary and
society.
debate society. If they have like reading clubs, I think they should join
And they
those
should
kind
have
of
public speaking. I think that could be
public
part of literary
speaking.
and debate.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah, I
And
remember
then the
literary.
other thing I noticed, like again in my experience abroad, they used to say like people in drama. So they like at the College of Law as well, they used to specify that, especially those who were going the barrister route, that they should do a lot of acting, yeah, as part of their co-curricular, because they have to have that convincing, they have to have that art to be able to convince people of whatever argument they're bringing across.
Yeah. And I also want to, you see, there's something that we've neglected over time, and I don't know if we have it. Sports is so important because we
Sports.
have to live healthy. Yes,
Okay.
healthy living is, it's not an additional, it's not a luxury. It is an essential part of living. It is only the person that is well that can practice a profession. You see, there's a lot about mental health going on now. So healthy
Mm,
living is more than just keeping fit and all that. So we really need to have societies where, I don't know how they will phrase it in secondary schools, where you actually take the issue. And that's why I mentioned also emotional intelligence. So they need to have those sort of societies where you look into healthy living and you actually talk about this issue of mental health, not only just
mm,
physical health, but
mm,
yeah.
mm. Okay. Thank you so much, Justice. So oh, we're going to Inspector now. Please, can you tell us the kind of soft skills that our students need to develop as in the police profession, in policing profession? You need to unmute, ma. Inspector.
In the police, we deal first and foremost with the members of the public.
Mm.
So, human beings, we are dynamic. Let me use that word. And
Uh-oh. Whew. Hello, ma. Inspector. Students, please, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. The last question we had was from Eminence Charles. Okay, it looks like the inspector she's out of the group at the moment. Fire officer, please, if you're there.
I'm here.
Okay, yes. So please, what are the soft skills that students should develop to become fire officers?
Become fire officers. Most importantly, develop is, we work with the public.
Yes.
We work with the public, so it's very, very important for us to be able to manage people, because there are some situations whereby you need to say, for example, you need to be able to pacify the person, or the person having the accident or the emergency. Like, okay, fine, we'll be able to control this fire, for example. You understand?
Yeah.
And also, in whatever you do too, time management is very, very, so time management skill is good for you to acquire that too, because in whatever you do, you need to be able to manage your time. And our job too, for you to be able to respond promptly to emergency, it means that is important.
Mm.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yes. So you said like human relationships, human management, then time management.
Yes.
Okay.
Then also you have to be able to solve problems, because you know that as a fire officer, one of those things you do is to solve problem.
Yeah.
So if there's a skill like that, you should be able to learn it too, solving problems. And also your interrelationship management too. I think that's a course. You have to be able to learn how to listen to people, because you're trying to solve people's problem. Do you understand? So you need to learn that. And also, as a fire officer, you need to be courageous. So if there's a training for that, because it's not a easy job, I won't lie to you. You understand?
Yeah.
So you need to learn how to be courageous.
Yes, when everybody is running away from the fire, you are running towards the fire.
You have to be courageous. You have to be physically fit, because of course because when everyone is running away, you're the one entering.
Yeah.
And it's truly, you need to be brave to be able to do that.
Yeah.
So you need to be physically fit too.
Okay.
It's very important for the job.
Okay.
You understand?
Yes.
And also, hello?
Yes.
You need to be sensitive towards the public. You need to be sensitive towards whatever is happening to them.
Okay. I get you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Being sensitive to.
Hello?
Yes. So being sensitive, or can we say empathetic, to understand what is going on with the person in the emergency. Okay. I have a question here from Daniel Ade.
And also. Okay.
Yes. So I have a question. I think it's to the justice. Ma, you said that law has to be enforced. For there to be law and order, then why is it said that when there is law, there is sin, and when there is no law, there is no sin? Okay.
I really don't understand the question. I think it might be in the biblical context, but what we're saying is that if a law doesn't make something wrong, then you are not wrong in doing it. So if a law has not been enacted about anything, then you cannot be said to be wrong. But what I meant by you need law to maintain law and order is that once a law has been made, if you don't obey that, you may get away with it if we don't have policemen and other people to enforce the law. But if a law has been made and you are complying with the law, then there's no problem. But human beings will not voluntarily comply with the law. If when a law is made, maybe I mean that's why our police officer was talking about human relations and human. So maybe if a law is made that we should wear face masks, for instance, when we're going out, maybe 30% of Nigerians will do it without any force. Another 70%, unfortunately, we need somebody to follow them and see whether they're actually putting on. So that is the enforcement. If people voluntarily obey the law, then there'll be no need for enforcement, but it doesn't happen. People have to be made to obey the law. That's what we mean by enforcement. But it is still that if a law, for instance, in 2019, if you went to any party without a face mask, nobody will do anything to you. In 2019, if 20 people were standing in a small room, it would be all right. If 200 people were having a party in a very small hall, it would be okay because there was no law against it. But as soon as we started enacting laws for the corona regulations, it became wrong to go out without your face mask. So that's when there was no law against it, there was no sin. But as soon as there was a law against going out without a face mask, it became a sin, or should we say a crime, to do. And still, some people would obey and some people will not obey. So enforcement means that those people who will not obey the law naturally will force them to obey. Yes.
Okay.
I hope I've answered the question, Daniel.
I think so. Daniel, let me check. Daniel, please specify. Let's know if your question has been answered. So, Inspector, you are back, and the question that you were answering was the social skills, the soft skills that students need to learn. So please unmute yourself, ma.
Okay, so I was saying that policemen will meet a lot of people, and the way A will react to issues will be different from the way B will react to issues. So one skill that is very important as a policeman that we must learn is that conflict resolution skill. Conflict resolution.
Conflict
You
resolution.
must to know how you are going to resolve a situation. Yes. You have to know how to resolve a situation, two parties or more, in a way that everybody feels fine, we won. And that doesn't happen all the time, because a person that offends cannot win. Well, I would say if somebody has committed an offense, he may not be able to win. So resolution is basic management. A policeman should be able to manage. Then you must learn about the rights of people. People you are meeting, people you are protecting, people who are offenders, people who have committed crimes. You must learn about their rights, so that whatever you do, you don't infringe on their rights. Then you have to be able to know about something, this thing called gender inequality, or I don't know, but most often we use that word gender-based here. There are some offenses called gender-based.
So they need to be gender sensitive. Sorry, we're losing you, ma. Okay, so the last part I heard was they need to be gender sensitive in resolving issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then another one, like Justice Williams mentioned, is the emotional intelligence. Because don't see a lot of professions.
Emotional intelligence.
To have a lot of situations where, yes, you are going to have a lot of situations where if you are not, if you cannot contain your emotions, you may tend to do something that are against the rules of the job. And then there is self-defense. You can learn like judo and all those things that you
Okay, we're losing you again, ma.
Without actually arms, you can.
Sorry. It was anyway, but we got most of it. So conflict resolution, understanding the rights of every one of the people that is of every side. So of the offender and of the offended, you need to understand their rights so that you're not infringing on anybody's rights. Then the emotional intelligence to be able to work with the different people that you are. Yes, okay. So I get that. Students, I hope you're getting that. So finally, the last question now is, what are the future prospects, the challenges in your profession and the future prospects of the profession? And then, yes. So I'll start with you, Inspector. The challenges of the profession and future prospects.
We have a lot of challenges. We have challenges of manpower. Like we all said, nobody wants to join the.
Yes. Okay, manpower challenges.
We be one policeman. Yes. Man to 4 citizens. One policeman to 4 citizens. But
we should have
we have
one
in the Nigerian
policeman
police
to
presently, we have the ratio is 1 policeman to over 200, which is not what we should want to do.
Okay, students, are you listening? That it should, the ideal case should be 1 policeman to 4 citizens. But what we have now is 1 policeman to 200 citizens.
Over 200, yes. And just as you see the issue of insecurity everywhere, there is no equipment to fight insecurity in Nigeria. Let me not say no equipment, let me say not enough equipment.
Okay.
Now we don't have a data bank where you can say, okay, if I arrest an offender, I want to check, I want to make a background check to know if actually he is a first-time offender or he actually and then we have a lot of things I don't want to mention because by the time I get to, it's going to be a sort of discouragement to people that will want to
join the force. Okay.
And then we have poor remuneration. Yes.
Okay.
We have poor remuneration. The welfare is very poorly maintained. The salary is nothing to write home about. And it's there where we buy our uniforms ourselves. So and then what we charge I don't want to really go into them.
Okay, let's not go into them because we still want young people to become police officers. But the main thing is manpower and the lack of equipment. Yes.
Yes.
And so I'd like our children to see this. And the welfare package, definitely. So children or young people, one thing that you should understand is that where there are problems, there are opportunities. So we already understand there's the manpower, the challenges of manpower, and then there's the challenges of equipment, not enough equipment. Now, I mean, there's a lot of technology going on. There's a lot of technological development going on. So if you're thinking, I mean, if you think about going into the police force, maybe these are some of the things that you can think of, okay, if I go into the police force, what kind of value do I want to offer? Or what kind of value do I want to add in the police force? So the next Fire Officer Folashade, please can you tell us the challenges and then the prospects in your field?
Okay, thank you. So, as you know, the fire service is a government-owned organization and in Nigeria. So there are usually not always enough things, especially equipment. Yeah. We don't have enough equipment to cover the ground, the fire grounds. For example, in Lagos State, we have about I think we have about 15 fire stations. You can imagine that we have 15 fire stations in the whole of Lagos. How do we cover the whole of Lagos? So the response time, you understand? Because we don't have enough fire stations to cover our ground. So
Yes.
of course, there's going to be a little bit of difficulty
Delay.
in responding to emergency.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
And also, another thing is that people don't take, I don't know, they don't take emergency serious in this part of the world. For example, is on the road, turn out to an emergency, and you see people still blocking them on the road. Like, what's my own? I need to pass before you pass. So
Okay.
the attitude is very, very poor. The attitude of people in this part of the world
The
is very,
attitude of
very,
people
very,
to
very poor
emergencies.
towards safety and emergency.
Okay. So
And
we need
obviously
more
our roads too.
enlightenment then.
Yes, it's very,
Okay.
very, very, very poor.
And then our roads.
In this
That
part
can
of the
also
world, people don't
affect us.
take safety seriously.
So it means that we
Yes,
need a lot
awareness
more
also.
awareness, a lot more
And due to
enlightenment.
that attitude of people, all the creation of awareness, people don't still take it serious. There are a lot of trainings that of course we think they need that too. But even people that are aware too, they don't still take it seriously. Like, God forbid, my house will not get burnt or undergo any form of
Yes.
an emergency. It can happen anytime. It's
Anytime.
not planned.
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So
I can give you a personal
people's
experience on
attitude
that.
too.
I can give you
Yeah,
a
can
personal
happen to any.
experience.
Okay, you can go ahead.
My husband got he at our warehouse. He made sure we
Okay.
got a fire extinguisher. And
Extinguisher.
and
Yes.
then he then told the malam, he had to educate the malam. When the fire officer brought it and installed it, he got the man to explain to the malam how to use it in case
To
it's
use
not
it.
there. There was a fire in a neighbor's place, and the malam just took the fire extinguisher, went to
And
extinguish
threw
the
it
fire.
inside the
No,
fire.
he went to extinguish the fire in the neighbor's place.
Oh, nice.
Yes. And
Nice.
so when the woman saw it, she then had to ask for a fire extinguisher in her own place. And she was really
Yeah.
grateful that there was something like that. So truly there is a lack of awareness.
Yeah.
But as I said, that's I mean, when one person does it and then they see the benefit of it, then another
Yeah.
person will do
Yes.
it and another person will do it. But as I said, that woman was really grateful that there was a fire extinguisher nearby that could be used.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah,
But
thank
it's
you.
not always good. It's not always encouraging to learn from people's mistakes. Do you understand?
Yes.
Like, we don't have to wait for it to happen to somebody.
Yes.
Before you know the right thing to do. You understand?
Yes.
So it's just that attitude. We need to be safety conscious always.
Yes.
Because you might not know, it might happen to you anytime. So
Yes. That's why it's called
that's it.
an accident or an emergency. It's not something that we
And so there are
plan
other
for.
things, but we don't really talk about it on here.
Okay.
But I think that's like the most important. Those challenges, those two things are the major challenges we face every day.
Yeah.
As a and Lagos State, I'm actually very proud that I'm a Lagos State fire officer, because in Lagos State, I think they are working towards being like the best fire officer or firefighting personnel in the whole of Nigeria. They are working towards it. They are providing more stations at the moment. So I think this is definitely going to get better. It's going to get better. I'm very sure of that.
We're looking forward to that. So young people,
Yes.
there are opportunities in the fire service. So we'll go back to Honorable Justice about the challenges in the legal profession.
Okay, like I was talking about judges, for instance, and one of the challenges I found as a judge is what made me start my institute. The fact that you don't have competent staff that work with you, well-trained people. So you have to take on more than you are really supposed to. And the same thing happens for lawyers. When you're doing the work of 3 people, you will not be able to do what you're supposed to do properly. And so that, affects everybody, not having good staff to assist you. And I think a lot of professions have that in Nigeria. And that then comes back to giving judges a backlog and then giving judges a bad name. There's a joke going around on social media now that I didn't find interesting. I wasn't laughing because it said, an elephant saw, I don't know if you said, an elephant saw maybe a goat running, and the elephant asked the goat, why are you running? And the goat said, oh, they are arresting cockroaches, something like that. And the elephant says, but you're not a cockroach. And the goat says, well, it's going to take a Nigerian court 20 years to prove that fact. So the elephant is started running. So it's unfortunate, but that is what we have. We have a backlog of cases because you don't have competent staff. Now, right now, there's a strike going on. I don't know if current affairs. There's a recent strike, and that is talking about independence of the judiciary. The judiciary is not funded as it should be. It is waiting for the executive to hand over. If you do government, you understand that there are three arms of government. Okay, and not of them should be equal, but the judiciary has now been made the poor cousin. So you have to keep going cap in hand to beg for money. So we don't have the proper infrastructure. If a judge is writing down what everybody says, of course, it's going to take them forever to even make the records and all that. So there's a lack, and that's talking about even the judiciary. Of course, lawyers have their own. There are a lot of cases, and I think that is why I advocating civics. People don't know their rights, and so they do a lot of things that they ought not to do, and then the lawyer has to defend. You understand? Then, for instance, even having agreements, if you know your rights and you know what the law says about agreements, when you're going to have your agreements, you go into it, you do the right thing. So you call a lawyer to help you, but a lot of people don't do that. It's when the agreement goes bad that they then go and call a lawyer. And so there are a lot of cases that should not be in court, that are in court. And we still have all this backlog, all this delay in administration of justice, which is so sad, Then another thing is that people don't understand. I think it was our officer that was talking about it, alternative dispute resolution, trying to resolve disputes between themselves. So every little thing that shouldn't even go to court, some people decide to take it to court. So those are the things. I think that lack of information, people should be well informed about the laws. It will help everybody to do their job better. So those are the things. And of course, general Nigerian infrastructure issue.
Yes. But we make a way.
Amen.
So, yes. So finally, I would like to thank you all, and I'd like to ask for your words of advice to our young people here today. General advice, and then we can bring our session to a close. So let me start with the fire officer and then come back. So Fire Officer Folashade, your words of advice. Yes.
Well, I would just like to encourage the the youth, that your dream is valid. Whatever you want to do, if you put your mind into it, of course you are going to achieve it. So it's important for you to nurture your talents. Whatever talent you have, don't end up doing a job that you don't enjoy. Do you understand? So your talent is definitely something you're going to enjoy. So nurture it.
Yes.
Be happy. Okay. And do the right thing. And you should be safety conscious always. Is important for us to be safety conscious. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So her words in summary is, your dream is valid. So follow that dream, nurture your talent, make it into a skill, and then be safety conscious. Thank you very much. So, Inspector, you can unmute. We can't hear. Sorry, we can't hear very well. Sorry, Ma, we can't hear you.
Maybe she should type, ask her to type.
Okay, maybe you can type. Can you type it in the chat section? If you can type it in our chat section, then I will read it to the students, so the students will see it as well. While she's typing, Honorable Justice, please give us your words of advice.
Okay, I know that we're in an environment where there's a lot of deprivation, there's a lot of lack, and there's a lot of need. A lot of people only want the bottom line, which is need. But I just want us to understand that it is passion that drives success. So a lot of people think it's a luxury to look for something that you're passionate about. You know, when the fire officer gave us the advice that you should do what you enjoy. So people I'm just doing this job just to make money. But if you're not passionate about something, it's very difficult for you to be successful at it. So it is passion that drives success. Find something that you are passionate about and make it the focus of your work. And of course, coming on the heels of that is always be ready to provide a solution. Anybody that sees a problem and is passionate about solving it and then provides a solution, that person will make it for life. That is how money comes. Yes, it's very important to have money, but it is somebody who is providing a service that gets remuneration for that service. And so that's how money will come. So let's not we're focused on I want to become a millionaire, I need money, I want to meet my needs. But find something that is a problem that you can solve and be passionate about solving it, and you will earn money, you know. So, and the final thing I want to say is that a lot of us have a lot of complaints, like when we're talking about not wanting to become a police officer and all that. You need to be the change that you want. If you say that, oh, there are lots of corrupt judges, lots of corrupt lawyers, you be the incorruptible one, and you will find like people to do the same with you. So be the change that you want
to see.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So passion drives success. If we try to solve problems, be a solution to the problems, and that way you provide a service, thereby you get your remuneration, and then finally be the change you want to see. Can we just try once again with Inspector Kodaolu? Okay, oh, you're still typing. So, okay, I think, okay. Okay, we have a message from one of our students. Thank you so much, Ma. I've really learned a lot. Honorable Justice, thank you, Ma.
Thank you.
So we any other comments or questions from the students? If you have any other comments. If not, we can already start saying our thank yous to our speakers. I'd really like to thank fire officer Folashade Onibon. I reached her just this morning, and she was able to come on board. So I'd like to say a very big thank you for providing this very essential service today. I'd like to thank Inspector Temitope. I found her on LinkedIn, and immediately I sent a connect. She connected and said, yes, I'm willing to serve. So I'm really happy. Okay, so her message is this: there is no shortcut in the journey to success. It takes a lot of hard work and perseverance. Be hardworking, persevere, be diligent, and you'll get there. Good luck. Thank you so much, Ma. And so thank you once again that you came on board. I really hope that we can maintain a very good relationship going forward. I'd like to thank the Honorable Justice. Um, I got to connect with you through Mrs. Adeshino. And Mrs. Adeshino also, I didn't know her personally. I also found her online somehow, and when I learned about the paralegal services and the paralegal studies, I was really interested, and I just wanted to make sure young people knew about it. And you're here and you told us a lot about it. Though we didn't actually get the application process or the academic calendar or anything about the institute.
You can go to our website. We have a website,
Okay.
www.iopls.com. I can write it here. IOPLS.
I
IOPLS.com.
IOPLS. Okay. So that's www.iopls.com. So if you want to know more about the Institute of Paralegal Studies, that's where you go to find out, and find out how you can register and the necessary details you need to find out. So once again, I'd like to say a very big thank you. Our students, you can unmute yourselves and say thank you to our speakers. Students,
Thank you, Maz.
thank you. Thank you
Thank you,
so much.
Mas.
Thank you, Ma.
Thank you. Thank
It
you.
was a pleasure coming.
Thank you
Had a
so
good
much.
time.
Thank you so much, Ma. I really cannot say thank you enough. But the Lord will really reward you. And as we raise the next generation, I really hope that we'll have more police officers and more paralegals, more legal executives, firemen and women. Thank you so much. Another thing that we've all also been able to establish here is that women can be police officers, women can be fire officers, women can be judges and lawyers. So thank you very much. So that will end the session now. And students, our next session is at 3. We'll be having the transportation, distribution, and logistics session with Mr. Fola Tinumba. So thank you all very much. Thank you to our
Thank
speakers
you.
once again. Thank you. Have
Thank
a
you
lovely
very much. Thank you
afternoon.
for having us.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Have a good
Bye.
afternoon.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Bye, students.
Bye, Ma.
Bye. Thank you, Ma.